So it is Christmas time, and I should probably spend at least a little bit of time talking about some of my favorite movies besides Die Hard, which of course is my favorite Christmas movie. So that means today we're going to talk about Elf, a movie from one of my favorite directors, Jon Favreau, and I think I would argue that this is Will Ferrell's best movie. I would call this Will Ferrell's best movie. So let's talk about it. If you haven't seen this movie, essentially the idea of the plot is there's a baby in an orphanage that sneaks into Santa's bag, goes back to the North Pole, ends up getting raised as an elf, grows up to the age of, 30 is what I believe in the movie. Essentially, it's the plot of the movie The Jerk, except totally different. But he discovers he's not an elf at the age of 30 and wants to go discover his father. So this elf that's a moron that does not understand how the real world works, played by Will Ferrell, goes to New York City to meet his father, and absolutely wonderful hijinks ensue. I think I saw this like 3-4 times in the theater, loved it back then. Bought it on DVD, watch it every year, love it every single time. And now I have kids, and my 4-year-old son was just losing it the whole movie, just cracking up like, the whole time at the movie. And so was I, because it's a really fun and funny movie. Now, here's the thing. What makes this movie so good to me? Because are there funny jokes in it? Sure. Is it a movie that, you can watch with the whole family? Yes. These are all, of course, wonderful things. But what makes it special to me is it's a movie that's not cynical. In particular, even like as a Will Ferrell movie, it's a Will Ferrell movie that with no cynicism, mean-spiritedness. It's just a sweet, fun movie with such a kind, happy, energetic, irresistible lead character in Buddy the Elf by Will Ferrell. So I love this movie for that reason, that it's just such a breath of fresh air where so many movies are deconstructing the spirit of Christmas, or they're deconstructing something. They're looking for that cynical, dark take on it. They're trying to be witty and self-referential, looking for meta jokes. Everything is trying to outthink itself, overly clever. And this movie is just a sweet Christmas movie that stars Will Ferrell of all people. And so let's go through the good of this movie. Well, just right off the bat, it's a movie that's just funny beginning to end. It's just makes you laugh, and they have a steady stream of jokes and different kind of jokes. So you have the slapstick, you have just kind of like witty jokes where even you're in the first few minutes of it, and every time they cut to, there's only so many jobs for an elf, and one of them's baking cookies in a tree, which you can imagine can go badly, and then the tree lights up on fire, and it's a joke about like the cookies that we all buy with the Keebler elves, and like that's such a funny, clever joke to put into this movie. And the whole movie has those little moments like that are just so clever. Or that this innocent Buddy character that just, he's such a simplistic mind that wants to do sweet, kind things for people, goes to the mall, and just as you would see at the mall, there's a sign that says, for that special someone. So he buys his dad that thing that they're selling to your special someone, lingerie, and he gives it to his dad. That's so funny. It's just these little witty moments of the simplicity of life, and that we don't think about them, but it's clever in its simplicity, in its observations about the little things in life. That's what makes this movie just work. This has Zooey Deschanel before she got annoying and I stopped liking her because she did the same shtick in Everything Forever. But like this is early on in her career, pre-coloring her hair dark, still got the blonde hair in this one. And she's a fun kind of character to play off of Buddy the Elf. Of course, you've got James Caan in there as the grumpy father that I've heard some reviews say he's miscast. He doesn't jive well in it. I just always thought that's kind of the whole point, is that he's this grumpy James Caan type old man, and wacky Will Ferrell is his son. That's funny. The fact that they like have this weird rapport, that's what makes it funny and makes it work. So I never understood some of those complaints. On the negative sides for this movie, I don't really have too many that come to mind. I think it loses a little bit of its momentum as the story goes along. It doesn't have the immediate innocence in cleverness of the first half of the movie. As you get into the second half, and it gets a little bit more plot driven. It's like, oh no, this is happening with Santa, so we have to fix this, and this is happening. When that all starts going down, you're moving into action category in a movie that was about comedy. And so it loses some of its spark, but only a little bit. Nothing that I'm going to complain about, really. Well, I guess I did complain about it, so I can't say I'm not going to complain about it, since that's what I'm doing right now. That's probably the only thing that really comes to mind. I guess the other one is that rewatching it, especially a couple days ago, the movie is kind of a little bit choppy in the way it cuts scenes together, somewhat inherently with the nature of the fish out of water story they're telling, with Buddy discovering New York City. And so most of the gags come from he's discovering things and little things are happening. And so it kind of feels like it's cutting to him doing things, and a little episode happens and there's this, little 15-second scene of him in a window and then him doing this. And so you don't have a good sense of urgency in the drive of the story. All that to say, they cut to this 15-second scene that made me laugh, and then they cut to another one that made me laugh, and then they cut to the story moving forward, which was fun and sweet and emotional, and then I cut to a little thing that made me laugh. I'm fine with that. All that said, I'm going to rate this movie, once again, a 9.5 out of 10. There's a little bit that I thought about giving it a 10 out of 10, and then watching it the other day, I was like, I can't do that. I really want to, because I find it that charming, that funny. It has such a special place in my heart that I really wanted to. Gotta ding it just a little bit for the choppiness and the loss of momentum. 9.5. This is one that I normally watch twice every December, maybe sometimes more than that. Very good movie, very enjoyable, a wonderful addition to my Christmas tradition. How about you? What do you think about the movie Elf, and what is your favorite Christmas movie? Tell me in the comment section, because I don't want to just talk about Buddy the Elf. I want to talk about Buddy the Elf with you. If you're new to my channel and you've never clicked that subscribe button, please consider clicking that subscribe button. I love to talk about movies. I love to talk about TV, but really I want to talk about them with you. And as always, thank you for watching.